Stizzy is that young blood. Of course, I hype him up. He gets demoed, but he was the guy that made magic happen for Dignitas when going up against Vitality, making 3 world champions look silly. But Dignitas have Appjack leading. Look what he's able to do. Stizzy buys time, and he just gets a free net like that.
Stizzy said, I get it. The second time you give me this opportunity, I will not miss. And not only will he not miss, he'll get a pretty nice flick off the ceiling. Beautiful shot here as Appjack just clears the lane for Stizzy. And finally, the first goal of this series is found. Dignitas took him 2 minutes, but they are on the board.
Dignitas works so beautifully together, and you can't underestimate what Joreuz can do when he builds momentum. Sphinx with the tumble, no, the high touch. Too many defenders in his path, and VP hope to collect. A bouncer, though, that's too high for Sosa to read, and Sphinx keeps the midfield occupied, so VP will be chasing that equalizer, but they need to be chasing boost. 2 of them running on empty, and Dignitas are stealing everything, and that is just the impact of someone like Appjack. Yeah, VP just haven't been able to feed the ball to Catalysm, who's been waiting in the box and with low boost. So when push comes to shove, it's hard to salvage that. And I think Dignitas recognized that and deny every pass within that box. So Dignitas did their homework, but with less than 30 seconds, can they hold on to this lead? It's quite minuscule. Sosa did just get the 100, is going to take this ball to the backboard. Double command, a shot for Catalysm, and Appjack with a huge save. And now it's Dignitas keeping their heads above water now for the last 10 seconds. VP keep themselves in the blue end. But what can Sosa do? He just hesitated, wanted to go for the safe play on the back as Catalysm launches it, but no one can keep the rally going for VP. So Dignitas take game 1.
Well, let's see if they can do again here. VP, not exactly the start that they wanted. 0 goals scored through 5 minutes of play. Let's see if Sphinx can change that up real quickly. No, instead, Stizzy, great clear out, and actually going to find Appjack, and he's going to find yet another defense caught off guard. That's not exactly the play that I was expecting, and definitely not the way VP wanted to start off this game.
I think Sosa just apologized on the camera. He looked like he was driving all the way back, thought he had a chance at the 50, was too late, got beat, and he knew he made a mistake in that moment. And Sosa's been trying to find the balance between playing a safe third and being the one who challenges more in the midfield to possibly catch Dignitas off guard. And how about this? Catalysm with a good carry, but look at this strike back from Stizzy. What an arrow!
Oh, that's a great shot. I don't want to take anything away from it, but it's literally the same goal twice in about 10 seconds. Again, Dignitas just recognized VP pushing a bit too far up. They're so eager for a goal that they forget you also have to play defense. Jory is just on vacation right now, man. Feet kicking up. He's just not having to do much. It's been all Stizzy and Appjack here, as every goal and assist has been the 2 of them, and he's barely even having to play defense. Appjack's just kind of waiting there like, this shot's not going on target. I know it. I'll just wait for my save.
Oh. Okay, that touch scared me. We were like, well, we don't need Joreuz to do anything. And you think about the quarterfinals, he was involved in 2.5 goals a game. So he's a dagger. He's a weapon for Dignitas when they need him to show up. But unfortunately, Sphinx here is not going to get under that ball, get towards the ceiling to dodge that 50. Catalysm shooting for the fence. His hand just gets a dunk on him.
That's more what I'm looking for. Catalysm was critical of your aerials in game 1. Game 2, I cannot say the same. That is a perfect first touch as he keeps it low, keeps it close to him. They're doing a good job, though, not buckling underneath the pressure. They are finding these breakaway plays occasionally and making good saves where necessary. I have to think back to that Stizzy one where he just kind of shot it straight at Sphinx, and Sphinx barely flinched. Blinking, you might miss this one, though. Jory is the perfect read off the waterfall off the backboard. This is beautiful.
What a pass! Oh, just an unfortunate misread on the backboard, but give you a lot of time to think. At least VP have a lot of time to work with. And how about some forgiveness? VP have been working on these kickoffs in APAC. It's gotten better and better. And how about that fake right to Catalysm to the back of the net?
That's a perfectly executed fake. Catalysm, long ball downfield, and Jory is in the way. And now that midfield presence to Dignitas starting to creep up and cause some problems for VP. Although they make the first save, can they make another? Stizzy off the backboard, looking for the triple or the pass down. Appjack just not there in time.
Joreuz as the third steps up from the midfield, and the offense, it continues to burn, but will a scorch through VP. Sphinx with the pop-up, denying that possession from Appjack, pops out to Sosa, who's a little too far behind, and Dignitas surround. They divide and they conquer. What a tackle! Just shoved him in the locker, took his lunch money, and that feels like the nail in the coffin. Dignitas have so many options off the ball, taking boosts, bumping, chasing. VP have been able to stick in the game for as long as they have, always keeping it within 1-goal territory, which says a lot to the talent they bring in match 1, and kind of a fuck of what is going on. Sosa very close. He gets out of the net, and it's right there, and Sphinx hesitates.
How on earth, VP? You're not going to get better chances than that. Granted, it's the end of the game where you're already down by 2 goals. Even if you had scored that, it really wouldn't have made much of a difference. But one of these has to hit the back of the net. It will not. Dignitas 2-0 up on the series.
And you're seeing a lot more demos come out from both sides too. Even Catalysm is trying to do an Appjack and do his own harassment in the back. It's the exception is Dignitas are better at dodging, and his Catalysm may have hold cold there. I'm gonna need a zoom in, but it's not looking good. Either way, Dignitas up first.
I mean, that's a dope angle. That's pretty cool. That's a great shot. Unfortunately, it's against your own net, so it's not really going to count for all too much. You can see it. It just smiles on the other side, and it's starting to show itself through the cracks here or there. Maybe this can change that, but no. Poor challenge out of Sosa, and already Stizzy causing problems on the other end. He's going to continue to bump against Catalysm, and Appjack will take over off the backboard. This one's open, and Appjack will not miss.
Man, what can Appjack not do? He is just such a star for this team, and now you get to see what he can do on the ball this time. Nose down and in. Tough angle to cut, and a tough one for BVP to deal with. Sosa doesn't win the 50, and Sphinx can't get behind the ball.
Unfortunately, it kind of feels like those kickoffs might be the only place that we're seeing success for Virtus.pro right now. They're, again, getting those opportunities on offense, but this is the difference in the shot caliber. Dignitas are getting anything they want, going anywhere they want, with the power and fury of Zeus behind it.
Look how close Jorius was too, and kind of the fakes as Dignitas don't continue contact with the ball. It drops, and Dignitas play close enough.
Unfortunately for them, it feels like as good of a performance as this is, it's just it's going up against a team that is so capable that if you don't play to 110%, even your 100% is not going to be enough. And that's what we're seeing right here and now. As it was 70 seconds ago, this has been domination from Dignitas so far. That is 8 goals to only 2 throughout the series. Let's make it 9. That's Stizzy in front of the net. That's 4-0. That's Dignitas putting the nail in the coffin.
I just like the way that Stizzy positions for this. By the way, beautiful pass from Appjack through the corner. In case there was any diving save, you have Stizzy just front and center and also on the top of the ball. So if it was a low 50, any 50, that was going in, or it was going to stall in front of the net.
All 3 of Dignitas' players have stepped up. Actually, no, he's already done so. This is the 2nd game in a row in which all 3 players of Dignitas have scored at least a goal, and they're going to continue on with the tally. I said Jorius, I wasn't sure if he had scored a goal. Now he scored 2, and it's 5-0.
Just so much solo play potential, a lot of chemistry within Dignitas, stuff off the ball you got to worry about. Do what he cooks, and that's what Dignitas is doing. They're cooking globally too. All eyes are on Dignitas, and they bring the heat in their first match, and it's a donut into a breadstick, and none other than Catalysm, who's looking on fire for the first match of LAN.
Unfortunately, he's the only one on fire. After we talked about Sphinx and Sosa's performance in the first game, since then, neither one of them got even a single goal. Sphinx continued to get some assists, but it's Catalysm, all 3 goals for the team throughout this series, and it's going to end that way. Dignitas, a 3-0 sweep over Virtus.pro here in our first round. In the battles of VP,